Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. We have another Audi S4. So yeah, this time James bought us the car for change ups as usual. So we're gonna take the engine out, check the chains, check the camshaft adjusters. I'll probably want to show you a bit of a more step by step how we're taking the engine out, what needs to be taken off, what needs to be released and stuff. Also, he wants to do the headliner. Common issue is just failing off, it looked like a tent again. And we're gonna do some small bits and bobs. So yeah, it's a S4 B6 53 plate in a red. We're only repairing red S4s, and it's not an estate, it's a saloon. I do like the genuine alloys on them, and the car's pretty much clean and everything. Well, yeah, let's have a look inside. So yeah, have a look at the headliner, the stage of it. It's just typical Audi problem. So yeah, we have AJ down the road. He's doing all the retrims for us and stuff. So that'll be probably the first thing what I'm gonna do, because he's a quite busy man. So I will drop it as the first thing. Then I'm gonna do the mechanical stuff on the car. The exhaust is done as well. We got some nice Akrapovic tips, and from underneath, yeah, it's just the rear boxes. Everything else is gone already, so it sounds a bit better. Anyways, there's a small exhaust leak what we have to sort out at the same time. He had a steering wheel done, and I must say I love it. Probably I'll get a contact of him because I want to have the same steering wheel in my car. So you got a sat nav. It's a manual this time, so a bit of a less hassle with draining the box and everything, and putting the oil back on afterwards, and doing all the settings and long procedure filling the box up. Heated seats, black Recaro seats. So yeah, just a typical Audi comfort from inside. Oopsie. So that's broken, as you can see. Hello V8. So yeah, rocker cover's been done. The coolant tag looks pretty much new, and see some Bosch coil packs. Engine base clean, you know. So we've got all the covers as well, which comes with the car. And yeah, even this is not missing. Very nice. It looks very clean from the top. We're gonna put it on the ramp and see where the leaks are coming from and what extra stuff we have to order in. Okay, so when the James dropped the car to us, he was mentioning he had a bit of a problem with the gearbox. Maybe not even a problem. He just said the gearbox is making a bit of a crunchy noise when he's shifting from 5th to 6th. So yeah, first thing first, disconnect the battery, drain everything, all the fluids, oil from the gearbox, coolant and hydraulics. And then we're gonna start with the normal thing, taking all the wipers, drainage, the covers, ECU, disconnect the whole engine from the vehicle and drop it on the floor. Exhaust, just the rear boxes. And this is the spot where it's blowing out. So we have to repair that, probably get new clamps as well because there's too much exhaust silicone. And yeah, Jen was mentioning he done something with the subframe, so that looks protected, but there's a coolant leak, you can see right over there, and there's a power steering leak as well, probably from these two Juby clips. They'll be replaced anyways, but I have to find out where the coolant's leaking from, because even on the coolant reservoir it seems to be a bit low. Other than that, I must say it's pretty much clean, looking good. So yeah, we're gonna drain the oil out and everything, and then we're gonna start stripping from the top. Okay, so everything is disconnected. ECU in one piece, that's still genuine. Yeah, you got the bolts which usually snap off when you tie them. So the whole loom's coming out. This is the main positive feed for the battery. That came out from there, and we're just gonna take it out from the bottom. We used to disconnect the alternator and the starter motor on the car, but it's a bit too difficult to do it that way. So reservoir removed. Yeah, there's a connector from the bottom, gotta be disconnected. All these are off, and yeah, now we have to go from underneath the car, disconnect everything, and we also have to remove the whole front end. So that will be the next step. So the front bumper is off now, but for some reason these two bolts, where's the crash bar, they're not tight, both of them, so I didn't have to take the fog light covers off to loosen them. So yeah, but I have to put them back on anyways. So next step will be these air duct for the coolers. They will be taken off, one and two. This will be a bit of a fun. These two nuts, yeah, they're always a problem. Look, they're rusty. So I'm gonna put real WD-40, but I think they'll snap anyways. You can replace the plate from the top, which is here. You can still get it from TPS. And to remove the front end, you don't have to take the headlights off or anything else. It's just these two torque bolts each side, one and two. There's one on the side. There's 1, 2, 3 on one side, 1, 2, 3 on the other side. And yeah, all we have to do is disconnect the coolant pipes from the top, and there should be a connector over there, and that's it. Whole front end will come off. So this is how it should look like when everything's disconnected. So from the left, the whole water system and the secondary water pump, the secondary air pump is disconnected, and the loom, the positive train down there, that's here, all disconnected. Yeah, and the loom's just on top of the car. There's a main ground connection for the whole loom. Yeah, and this is the whole loom that will go outside with the engine from the bottom. Disconnect the water to the water pump and also the two air conditioning pipes, and there's a main feed for the power steering. There's the reservoir, so we already drained that so it was empty, and one more water pipe. So we also removed the coolant radiator from the driver's side, so we can take out the loom easily and just disconnect the whole water from this side. So from the bottom of the car, lobe arms disconnected from the front, the back arms are disconnected from the hubs, the anti-roll bar is fully off. This is the air conditioning pipe, and the exhaust is fully disconnected from the middle and the prop shaft as well. So all we're gonna do now, we have to have all these bolts out, and we're gonna drop it on the working table, so the whole subframe will come out with the gearbox and everything. Dry shaft removed left and right, of course, with that in the way. And yeah, last step is to drop the whole engine in the box. Also, from the bottom of the gearbox, there are two control arms coming in, so they are disconnected, and the last bit is just hydraulic to the slave cylinder, where you can see it's hidden over there. So that's the last thing what needs doing. Second day, the engine is out, as you can see, with the loom and everything. Yesterday I spent about 5 hours taking it out, and yeah, next step is these nuts, 13mm on the downpipes, that will be removed. We have to disconnect the lambda sensors, yeah, all the way around, and then we'll be taking the subframe off, separating it from the engine and the gearbox mount and everything, and we're going to drop the gearbox off the engine, and then we can finally start working on the engine himself. 10mm gotta come off. That's the main ground for the loom. And then you have disconnect the injectors, and it goes front where are the valves. These are all the vacuum valves. This control the flap, which is probably seized. Yes, it is. Right, so this is what we found. This is not connected, quite important bit. So the flap is like fully seized. So yeah, intake's coming off. We're gonna open the whole intake and we have to make the flap move again, because otherwise it's just the engine is a bit dead. So that will be another extra job what needs doing. So this is another problem what needs sorting. There's a gasket behind it and that needs definitely replacing. And there's one more for the power steering, so all that needs doing. The first thing Okay, so remove the whole loom and everything what needs to be taken off. And next step will be the whole intake will come off. So we need Allen key number 5, and all these bolts gotta be taken out from both sides, and all this will come off. Alrighty then, so intake was removed. We put the blue rolls inside the intake so nothing gets in. And yeah, I have to open the whole intake up anyways to have a look at the flap. We still have the gearbox on the engine, so that will be the last bit to separate them. And then we're gonna clean the engine as much as we can, and we're gonna start doing the change up. So we have the gearbox off, and we're gonna take the pressure plate off now, and then the flywheel. And you can take it off now. Cool, I've got it. Something is not right, you know. You can see how it's biting around it, yeah? So I'm not sure what happened, but even the flywheel looks like it was overheated. You can see all the markings there. And this is definitely not good. I personally think somebody was doing the clutch and the flywheel was damaged. You can see the cracks there, yeah? Yeah, got it. This will go over complete. So after we remove the washer plate, which is between the engine and the box, all this is old clutch. Same as here, look, this is clutch. Yeah, so it was definitely abused badly, and look at all the dust. So I personally think that's why the flywheel have overheating marks and everything, because it's just, yeah, it didn't handle it, it overheats, and that's why he had a bit of a problem with the shifting and everything. So all this used to be a clutch. So the rocker covers are off now, and I'm looking at the camshafts, and I'm not really happy with this side. You can see the intake has a bit of a different angle than the exhaust side, which might be a worn out camshaft adjuster. So we definitely have to have a look at that side on the camshaft adjuster. The passenger side looks much better. I mean, the angle is the same almost, so it should be fine. Anyways, we gotta take him off, and we're gonna open him up, see what's going on there, and yeah, we gotta continue stripping from the back, take all the covers off. Alright guys, so we took the covers off, and what we find is a bit of a shocking. Yeah, the bracket completely fell apart. As you can see, there's a big bit missing. Yeah, it's barely holding together. We gotta take the sump off as well, clean it up so there's nothing in the sump. As you can see, the German engineering, yeah, the block is designed to support the bracket in case it failed like this, so the chains will not jump. Yeah, but then definitely need replacing fully. Okay, so next step will be remove all the guides, chains and tensioners. All 4 bolts will come out, and we need to take the camshaft adjusters for visual inspection. So now we finally open the camshaft adjuster. As you can see, we have the plastic washer in one piece. It's very good, and usually when it's broken, you have to just get a new camshaft adjuster. That's game over for the part. You can't get anything separate from inside. This is the spring which is pushing the pin in place, so it doesn't pop out from the oil pressure which is coming from the bottom. The rotor is sitting nicely in one place, so that's a good sign. It's not wear out in the hole, where usually is a problem. We're going to take the pin out now, so we can actually inspect the weakest point of the whole part. As you can see, pin, yeah, there's no damage on there. Now the plate where the pin sits, we're just going to clean up it from all the oil so we can see it properly, and the result is it looks good. It's definitely good. Okay, so there is a very small sign of wearness, but it's nothing to be worried about. So the camshaft adjuster is actually from 2 parts. The Rotford, you can see it's something what's stationary, bolted onto the camshaft, and the other bit is basically turning around. It's controlled with oil pressure. Now I've got an old camshaft adjuster from a different S4, as you can see, and the hole is pretty much oval, so it allows the pin to pop out much sooner under low oil pressure than the camshaft adjuster, which has a proper plate. So it is a common issue. We always inspect these when we're taking the engine out, doing the change ups, because there's just no point doing the whole job when the camshaft adjuster is not operating properly. And yeah, they're quite expensive. We're usually getting them from TPS. They cost about 580-600 quid each, because you need to get some more parts. So yeah, this is fine. We got to put it all back together and install them back into the car. Okay guys, so another S4 done. Just a quick recap what we actually done. The car original came with the timing chains issues, and we did find the problem. As usual, the guide was broken, so the whole timing chain kit was replaced with the upgraded RS4 guides. We also sorted out many small bits like water hose clips, which were absolutely rusty. It was matter of time till it started proper leaking. We replaced few water hoses, few hydraulic hoses from the power steering and stuff. Also, there was a fault with the headlight range, so the level sensor on the front suspension was replaced, which is absolutely seized. Also, James mentioned he had a problem to change the gear sometimes, so we did have a problem with the clutch. What we find out, somebody put a new clutch on a completely wear out flywheel, which caused a problem. And we put a new air conditioning radiator along with the sensors and replaced a few gaskets, so the car's finally working now, A1, and James could finally take it. We had the car here for 6 weeks because it's taking a bit long to get all the bids now, and we always found issue here and there which just make the job to take longer, so yeah. But yeah, it's ready for collection, and I'll see you in the next video. So yeah, job done.